I've been interested in yoga for a while. I had a brief period when I was in India and I heard about it, but I never really got into it. And then this year during a summer dance course, I was introduced to the more Western side of yoga, but it made me really want to go back to the roots and see how it was done in India and the background and more the reasons why they did it and how it benefited them. So I think I was quite apprehensive when I first got here. I mean, I guess it's a new place and we don't know what to expect, but everyone at Atmayaan has been so welcoming. They have an attitude like they just open their arms to you and take you at any level that you're at. And I've seen myself change a lot mentally, which has probably changed me more physically and spiritually as well. You start to understand the connection between the different types of bodies you have, and you realize how all the energy in the universe is connected, and it's not that hard to access if you're explained how and guided through it. And I think they do an amazing job here at Atmayaan. I like that it started off very practically with a lot of asana classes and breathing techniques, and then later on throughout the course we got to know the background and the philosophy and why we are doing the things that we do. So we kind of got to experience the benefits before we understood why, which helped make it stick a lot more in my mind. It was a really beautiful experience. I didn't think I would become a teacher after this, or I didn't have any plans to, but just the experience of being able to give part of yourself to someone else, and you know how much something benefits you, both the meditation and the asana yoga classes, and to be able to give that opportunity to someone else is something I really enjoyed here, and I'd like to improve and continue in the future.
I hadn't really done that much yoga in London before, but when I came travelling to India, I did a 2-week vacation in Satyananda ashram, and I just fell in love with yoga. I just immediately realized the physical and spiritual benefits and felt amazing. So I met a girl who'd done the TTC here and she recommended this course, and I'm so glad I came. So at the beginning it was a struggle physically and mentally. Yeah, I felt pain doing yoga physically, but then the more I got into it, I found myself just naturally going into postures, and if there was a day that I missed a class, I really missed yoga. It sort of felt wrong to not be doing it by the end. And spiritually, I found it hard to focus doing meditation at the beginning, but similarly, I really enjoyed it by the end, and I felt much more balanced, much more pure by the end. So I've still got a long way to go, but I'm definitely realizing the benefits. I honestly feel like the Atmayaan course has been the perfect course for me, because the variation of teaching has kept it really stimulating, really fun, really interesting throughout. And I think the special thing about Atmayaan is that it combines Western teaching and traditional Indian yogic teaching. And I just think that's what's really made it for me, because I've loved having traditional Ashtangi teachers then combined with your teaching, Chris, and I think you coming from the West, you know what approach Westerners use to learn yoga, and I think that combination is just fantastic, and it really equips you to teach yoga in the West. Yeah, I mean, I have to admit I was really doubtful before starting the course, because like I say, I'd only done 2 weeks of yoga practice. So I mean, now the feeling of being able to teach an hour class is just truly amazing, and if you told me that a few months ago that I'd be able to do that, I wouldn't have believed you. I think I'm just impressed with how much I've learned in such a short space of time. It's amazing, and it feels really, really great to have done that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What really drew me to this place was that it offered not only hatha yoga but vinyasa and ashtanga as well. So the variety as well as the location. Physically, it was challenging, it was demanding, because I didn't have the flexibility that most yogis kind of have, and being a bigger guy, a former football player, the transition into some of these postures is definitely challenging. But I noticed day after day, with about 4 hours of practice each day, you loosen up, you get that strength, you get the power. So I noticed for these past couple of weeks, just getting stronger and stronger, and being able to hold positions longer and longer, and enjoying it while doing so. And mentally it's been something much more than just the physical aspect of it. I came to India only aware of the physical aspect of what's practiced in the West, which is just asana, asana, asana. And here it just opened up my eyes to what a small part of yoga, of asana, that yoga actually is. So with the meditations we do in the mornings and the evenings and even throughout the day, there's a calmness, there's a stillness that hasn't quite been present for a while. And living in this ashram with basically no real responsibility outside of the ashram duties, it allows you to get into that stillness, to quiet the mind, it's been bliss. It's been wonderful. I think being here, removed from society, from the 24-hour news cycle, from the internet, you know, from text messages and calls and family and friends, you remove yourself and you have an ability to look at things a little bit more objectively. One thing that I really enjoy about the yoga philosophy is the awareness that comes naturally through your practice, through the meditation, being able to observe different sensations, different thoughts, and not being able to put too much weight into them, not being able to just separate yourself a little bit, and not being so reactionary, not always having to react, but embracing it, assimilating it, and then from there either reacting or not acting. So that objectivity, because things happen and we're so quick to say that they're good or they're bad, but most of the time it just is, and you kind of just have to accept it. The practice of yoga is a lifelong pursuit, but being here at Atmayaan with the instruction, the adjustments that we learn, the different teaching styles, we've had different teachers with their own kind of teaching styles. I've been able to kind of embrace that and imbibe it a little, and I feel prepared to teach. I know that I'm going to need a lot more practice, but I'm excited. We've had ample opportunities to teach our peers and to give a full class, and the full class was probably the highlight of this past month here. It was exhilarating. It was unlike any other kind of experience, where you just feel such a gratification being able to share what you've learned with other people. And I'm really looking forward to taking that back home with me and sharing it with my friends and family and my greater community.
I've wanted to do teacher training, yoga teacher training, for a while now, and I knew that it was coming to India and all the signs aligned, and I found Atmayaan course actually through Facebook, and it just immediately registered as the program that I needed to do, because it's on an eco ashram, it's in India, the teachers are amazing, and I really researched the course curriculum before I decided to sign up. Ashram lifestyle is essential for anyone who is on the conscious or spiritual path. Dedicating a solid block to yourself and to your practice is imperative to develop willpower, strength, confidence, and simply just settling into the self and the not self. It's been we use these terms gross and subtle all the time, and so on the gross level, you know, waking up at 6:30, not having hot water, like a lot of these things were very challenging, but on the subtle levels, I'm realizing how that work is going to unfold, you know, not just today, but once I leave here, in wonderful ways. I liked how we started with really the specifics of yoga, and throughout the course content we got into really philosophical discussions about how yoga applies to life, how it applies to our interaction with society, how we can bring yoga to the world in an obvious and a not so obvious way.
Okay.
And I think the philosophy, you know, yeah, we have it on paper, and yeah, we have our journals and we have our assignments, but I feel like the philosophy and the curriculum really more or less came out when we were teaching and when we were interacting with each other and when we were doing karma yoga. It came out through our actions, not just through assignments and writing.
And teaching, how was your experience in teaching yoga? You're not a yoga teacher by profession, and you hadn't taught yoga before, and now you're a yoga teacher.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that process?
I feel amazing. I feel really amazing. It was a bit scary. It was a bit scary at the beginning, but the assistance from the teachers and from the course, from the continual practice, really prepared me to believe and trust that I have that ability to teach yoga. And it felt amazing to offer yoga as a spiritual practice and as a physical activity, you know, just at that simple level. To be able to offer that to others is really profound, and I'm really looking forward to continuing that. I think that's what made this course so unique, because there was a small group of us, and we all came from different walks of life, but we all shared this commonality of exploring consciousness and exploring the body and just being aware and present with each other. And I would recommend this course to anybody who is wanting to grow.
The course is amazing. In 1 month, seems I have learned so much in 1 month. It's not easy, but I have learned a lot from this course.